Hello, everyone. You're welcome to today's edition of our podcast. Laoye is here, and with me live in the studio is our one and only Matrix, the Lord of Sewing Machine. The bringer of joy to fashion designers and tailors. Okay, so today you're going to be learning from Sir Abraham Adesanya how to know a very good sewing machine. And without taking much of our time, I'm going to pass the mic to him so that he can take us, on this wonderful journey to help us resolve all issues relating to our sewing machines for our fashion businesses. So, Sir Ibrahim Adesanya, I want to pass the mic to you. Please introduce yourself, what you do, and then shut down this house. Thank you so much, sir. So I pass the mic, sir. You can carry on.
So I thank you very much for the privilege. It was really a great privilege to be in this class. And I would like to ask, sir, okay, maybe I'll ask that after the session. So good evening, everyone. Please, if you can hear me, please let me know. Good evening, everyone. If you can hear me clearly, please you can unmute your mic and then let me know that you can hear me.
Okay. Most of them, the way the setting is, most of the chats have been blocked. But if few people can unmute their mics, so maybe we can take advantage of the chat in the chat room so they can,
I can hear you clearly
respond.
from here.
Aha, someone can hear you clearly, sir. So thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So during this training, basically about the topic, it will be based on how to make a good sewing machine. This evening I outline about what I'll be teaching about, and then there is just my more like three categories of things I'll be teaching about. And the first is about the best brands out of 100 sewing machine brands, like hundreds of sewing machine brands. I believe many people used to have questions about this, like, okay, how do I know which sewing machine to get? How do I know the name? How do I know the right sewing machine? How will I not have problem with the machine I'm buying? So this class is to actually give you answers to those questions. So I would like you to pay attention, and then if you have any question, you can take note of it to the end of the teaching session. So can we go on now? Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can go on. Thank you.
Okay, so we can go on now. So first of all, about the different brands of sewing machine. I would like a volunteer, although yes, I can just mention a brief list of the brands of sewing machines that we have. We have brother, we have sister. Yes, we have sister also. We have email, we have Sulayon, there is Juki, there is Jukai, and so on like that. But I would like a volunteer. I would like someone who can let me know. Like you can list just 5 sewing machine brands. Just list it in the comment section. At least 5 sewing machine brands that you know about. Okay, Madam Ugochi. Okay, we have Butterfly, Singer, Brother, Email, Juki. That's very good. So we have different kind of sewing machine brands like that. Okay, Madam Comfort also listed Butterfly, Singer, Thing. That's the difference. And then there's also from Madam Bola. We have Singer also. We have Juki also. Then we have Lion. We have Singer. We have Udon. We also have Percy. Thank you very much, everyone. So I'm glad that you all know that there are different kinds of sewing machines. And for the sake of facts, I'd like to let you know that there are over 500 sewing machine brands. Over 500, I mean it. So, but you can only know those ones that are around us. So if you check my recently released ebook, You see a list of those sewing machine brands there, and even I didn't document every one of those sewing machine brands. So basically today, I will not focus on mentioning the different sewing machine brands. I will move towards what you really need to know in this class. So I'll go on with that now. So thank you everyone for your contribution about the different sewing machine brands we have. So I'll be going into it now. Now, concerning sewing machine brands, I would like to give you a story first of all. Sometime last week, a lady contacted me and was asking me about the sewing machine brand I recommend for industrial straight sewing machine. And the same way I used to respond to everyone, I would just simply say, email and two lion are my top recommendation. That's for industrial straight sewing machine. Now the lady felt somehow. She was like, which one should I choose between email and two lion? I told her again, email and two lion are my top recommendation. Now she wanted me to choose one between the two, and I have my reasons for not choosing one because there are many things that goes into the subject of best sewing machine or sewing machines that are not okay. So, and that's the essence of this class, to make you really know about the factors, the things that will make you know the good sewing machine. Okay, what can you say in a sewing machine to say, okay, this sewing machine is a good sewing machine? I hope you are all following me.
Yes.
Are you following? Okay, very good. So as I was saying, based on my answer to her question, she felt so much. She was like, okay, maybe it's because email and two lion are the only sewing machines I have in store. That's why I'm recommending both of them. But funnily, these two brands are actually the most expensive. That's in the Nigerian market now, not abroad. In the Nigerian market, email and two lion happens to be the most expensive in terms of industrial straight sewing machine. That's the one for tailors. Yeah. So about that, I noticed something in her tone of conversation. She felt there is this type of sewing machine that you are using and then it won't give you any problem no matter how you use it, no matter what happens, it will keep working as, I don't know, more like she wants a perfect sewing machine, a sewing machine that cannot give her any kind of problem. And the truth is that if you believe there is a sewing machine like that, then you are wrong, because there is a sewing machine is a tool. I hope you know that. A sewing machine is not an entity, not a god or a human being. A sewing machine is a tool. So that means there is a user and there is a tool. Now, if you misuse the tool, it will definitely not work very well. So we can't say a sewing machine is best without talking about how you use it as a sewing machine user. I hope you're all following me. Okay, thank you. So, in this class, I will first of all be in this first session, I'll be talking about the main things to look at when getting a sewing machine, and then I will not be focusing more on the brand now. I will be sharing some basic things to know about different brands about sewing machines. Now, I would like you to take your jot type, you have it around here, so that you can write down these things, or probably your notepad. Now, when it comes to sewing machine, it is more about how you use the sewing machine than the brand itself. Now, I wrote something in my book, The Best Sewing Machine, that's an ebook. I wrote something, I said, a bad brand, that is a brand that is not good at all. Let's say, for example, I don't know which one to mention, but let's say there's a sewing machine that is not good. That is, the brands are bad, the brand owners are bad, they are not making quality products. With quality maintenance, if you as a user, if you use the machine the right way, I guarantee you that the machine is going to serve you appropriately. I have 100% guarantee, because I'm not just saying this as a sewing machine engineer or a sewing machine dealer. I'm saying this as someone who has been in your shoes before. At least I was a bag maker for at least 2 years. That was 2015, 2017. And I was also a fashion designer. At least I was doing that by the side for about 2 years also. So I have used the sewing machine. I know what it means to have a sewing machine that doesn't give you fault at all. And I can say categorically that it is based on you much more. So I will encourage you not to really focus too much on, oh, this brand will not give me any problem. First of all, work on how you use your sewing machine. So I was speaking on one of my posts from, I think, about 2 weeks ago. That was before the new month. I was speaking about the fact that if you are using your sewing machine and you have apprentices that come into your workplace, probably you have new students that you are training physically and all. One of the things you should ensure you teach them is sewing machine handling and maintenance. Because you can't just assume that because someone can do pack on a sewing machine, then the person knows how to use the sewing machine. That's totally wrong. We must teach the person, okay, this is how to clean the sewing machine, this is how to change this particular part, this is how to know when to check your sewing machine. This is what you should do before you start sewing. But many sewing machine users, or let me not say many, some. So in sewing machine users don't do that. They just say, okay, we'll just get on your machine and start working. No. That's why your sewing machine will keep giving you problems because you are not handling it the correct way. So sewing machine handling is something that should be taught to every sewing machine user, whether the person is a boss or an apprentice or even an intern. Those people should know how to handle a sewing machine. Are we all following, please?
We are following. I'm sure others are also following.
Yes, so we are with you. We are enjoying you. Please keep on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your feedback. So as I was saying, it is more about how you use the sewing machine. So you really need to learn how to handle your sewing machine. So I often use a particular quote. I say maintenance, proper maintenance is the key to sewing machine longevity. That is, if you want to use your sewing machine for long, then you have to pay attention to how you maintain it. That's the secret to it. For example, now when I used to be a bag maker, I was privileged to use a particular sewing machine, and this sewing machine is a brand I don't even know about. It was a used one, so someone has already used it before I even took it. And yet, with proper maintenance, because I've been around sewing machines for a very long time, actually from a very young age. So I know the in and out, probably everything about cleaning, everything about changing parts, everything about oiling, everything about things to check before you use a sewing machine. So I'm not a newbie to it. So when I got that sewing machine, I didn't bother about, oh, this sewing machine, I don't know the name, or this name is strange, or how will I use it? Am I sure this machine will not give me any problem? No. All I did was to keep the same principle of sewing machine maintenance. And I can tell you, it will be surprising, but I used the machine for 2 years. Those 2 years I spent as a bag maker, I didn't have any reason to repair that sewing machine. I didn't have any single reason to repair it or probably have a fault with it. That's why the fact that I'm an engineer, I didn't have any reason to check it. I just did proper maintenance, and I'll be mentioning those key things that you should take note of as a sewing machine user. Now, there are two major things I mentioned when it comes to sewing machine maintenance. The first one is cleaning, and the second one is oiling. Now, those two things are very important. And if you are someone that uses your sewing machine every week, then you should endeavor to clean your sewing machine at least once in a week. That's the minimum. At least once in a week. If you are someone that uses your sewing machine for commercial purpose, you should ensure that you clean your sewing machine regularly. Okay, Madam Ime is breaking. Can you hear me clearly now? Hello, everyone. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so I'm concerned about people who are saying the sound is breaking. Please kindly bear with me. It might be because of network. So thank you, Sam. So I'll continue. So as I was saying, I mentioned two major things that you should do to your sewing machine to ensure it lasts long. And the first thing is cleaning, while the second thing is oiling. Now, cleaning is very basic. Cleaning is not complex. Don't think, oh, it is one rocket science or something you have to like learn for 6 weeks or something like that. No. Cleaning is basically paying attention to the areas that are exposed on the sewing machine. And when you do that, you are paying attention to those areas and you are applying necessary. Now, what do you use to clean? Use fabric, a piece of fabric, and a brush. It's enough. It permits the background noise. I'm actually standing, but I have to talk from the boss so that I can pay attention in this part. So, pardon the background noise. So, as I was saying, you will need a fabric and a brush when you are cleaning. And those are the two major things you need. And which areas do you need to pay attention to? I guess I will have to probably post that on the group after the class. I'll post some pictures and then label them to make you know about those parts that you have to pay attention to. That will be after the class. I'll post it on this same group so that everyone can have access to it. I hope that is okay. So, aside those two things I mentioned, that's cleaning and oiling, there is one thing that is also very important, but many people, this is even very emphatic, many people don't know about it. Now, as a sewing machine user, there are certain parts of your sewing machine that you should change regularly. Change regularly. That means you have to pay attention to those parts and ensure that they are changed whenever it is needed. Now, there are three major parts, and I'll mention them now. The first one is the needle. The needle. Because I would like it if someone can list it on the group so that I can be sure that everyone is following me. I would like if someone can type it on the group as a chat, as I'm mentioning it now. The first thing you have to pay attention to is the needle. Now, the needle is something very important to your sewing machine. If the needle, as small as it is, if it is faulty, your sewing machine will definitely develop different kinds of problems, from skip stitches to different kinds of sounds that are not okay. So you have to pay attention to the needle. And based on my recommendation, the needle is something you should change after every major project. After every major project. For example, let's say you are Madam Ngozi or Mrs. Ngozi, and then you have a customer come to you today. You have a sewing project. You have to sew a gown on Friday into Saturday or something like that. Now, let's say you want to start that project. Start with a new needle. Now, these are safety precautions, not necessarily a cure to something. They are safety precautions for your sewing machine. So you start with a new needle, a brand new needle. At least I believe everyone knows that the needle is one of the most, or let me say, it's one of the cheapest sewing machine parts that you'll find around. An average needle is 10 naira, or even at most, the highest, that's for sewing, is 15 naira, or you can find something around 17 naira or so. But nevertheless, that is still very cheap. Very cheap. So the needle is something you should pay attention to. Use a new needle when you are starting a new project, and then when you are done with that project, remove that needle and replace it with a new one when you are taking on another project. I hope that is very clear. Now, I'll be very brief about that part. I believe that is clear enough. If you have any question about that, please write it down so that I can attend to it after the teaching session. So that's the first part, the needle. Ensure you change the needle after every major project. I'm not saying when you sew dust out. If what you only do is that you sew, maybe I don't know, maybe you made an amendment on a particular dress. You don't need to like change the needle after that. That's going to be effective. So what you should do is after every major project, pay attention to the word major. After every major project, you should change the needle. That is for that. Then the next part you have to pay attention to is the needle plate. Now, this is very, very important. The needle plate. Needle plate. I believe everyone should know what I call the needle plate. Needle plate. That is the one under the presser foot. That, okay. The shape you often have on your sewing machine is a semicircle, more like a circle that is cut into half. It is under the presser foot. So that's where you place your fabric on. Hope everyone knows what I call the needle plate.
Yes, the part that has a hole where the needle goes into it.
Exactly. Thank you, madam. So that's the needle plate. Now that's something you have to pay close attention to. Now, which part of it do you need to pay attention to? How do you know when the needle plate should be changed? That's the hole. That particular hole that the needle goes into, you have to pay attention to that hole. Whenever you notice that the hole is already broken, probably you will see more like a breakage. So it will not be a circle again, it will be more like a lift circle. I have to get what I'm saying. The circle will be lit. I believe I will be. If it had been like during daylight when I'm at work now, I would have shown you example of that in picture. But because of this class, I won't. But yet, I believe I will still have time to do that at a later time. But I hope you are getting it as I'm mentioning. So for the needle plate, pay attention to the hole that the needle goes into. Whenever you notice any dent or probably markings that are already making the circle rough, then you should know that it is time to change your needle plate. Whether you are using an industrial sewing machine or a domestic sewing machine, and even a weaving machine, because a weaving machine, that's the overlocking machine, it also has a needle plate. You should pay attention to that hole. When you notice that it is already having dents, having marks, or you notice that it is already breaking out, then you should know that it is time to change this. Now, why did I say that? When the hole is faulty, what will often happen is that the hole will interfere with your thread and it will break that thread. So that's one of the reasons why, okay, you might be sewing and then you notice that the thread broke suddenly. I have to get that. So the hole is where your thread and the needle passes through. If the hole is not smooth enough, it will break the thread and you'll not be able to sew at that time. You have to like change it again. And most of the time, you'll not know that that is the issue with your machine. You might have tampered with a lot of things without knowing that all you need to do is just to change your needle plate. So that's about that. And then for the last part that you need to pay attention to, are we all following, please? Okay, for the last part that you have to pay attention to, that is the bobbin case. Now, I would have mentioned presser foot, but in this class, I won't mention presser foot because there's something I'm actually driving towards. And that is, so I won't mention presser foot in this class, but I'm only mentioning the three major, based on my experience now. The third one is the bobbin case. Now, that's what you often call short sew. I hope you all know what is called short sew. Okay, so that's the short sew. That's where your bobbin case, your reeler, that's where it goes into. So you change your short sew also when you notice something. Now, I will mention what you notice before you change your short sew. Now, the short sew is not something you get to change regularly, like often. It doesn't get spoiled off. But now, when you notice that when you put in your reeler, that's the bobbin, and you try to pull out the thread, if you notice that it is hanging, like there's no smooth flow of the thread from the short sew, then you should know that it is time to change the bobbin case. Now, there's something very important about the bobbin case. If you don't change it when it is faulty, what will happen is that it will interfere with the neatness of your stitches. That's why you notice that sometimes you are sewing and then the upper stitches are very rough. One of the major contributors to that is the short sew. That's the major contributor, the bobbin case. When I say short sew, I mean bobbin case. When I say bobbin case, I mean the short sew. Those are just two different terms that people use. So I want to ensure that everyone understands. That's why I'm using those two words together. So for the bobbing case, if you interfere with the type of stitches you have, so you have to use a proper bobbing case to ensure that your stitches are neat. I hope that is clear, please. Okay, so that's about the bobbing case. I already mentioned three parts. That's the needle plate, and then the bobbing case. The needle plate, and the bobbing case. Those are the three major parts you should pay attention to when it comes to changing parts and replacing the parts of your sewing machine. So let me quickly do a recap within just 30 seconds. For the needle, you have to change it after every major project. And then for the needle plate, you have to change it when you notice that the hole is already having dents or that the hole is breaking. Then for the bobbin case, when you notice that the thread is not flowing freely, like you're having, it's not like something is slipping. You are trying to pull out the thread, but it is giving you some breakage, like it is not pulling out properly. So you should know that it's time to change the bobbin case. I hope that is very clear. Now, I've actually spent too much time on these maintenance aspects, but the reason why I have to stay too long on it is because I know this is something every one of you needs most. I believe every one of you in this class at least has one or even more sewing machines that you are working with. So I believe that you really want to know how to keep your sewing machine safe, how to keep it long lasting, how to ensure that you don't spend unnecessarily on sewing machine repairs. Because that's very important. It is not, yes, it is my joy as an engineer when you have to contact me every time, like, okay, wow, my sewing machine is faulty, come and help me repair it. At least that will bring money into my bank account. But the truth is that it is not how it is meant to be. Normally, before you can say, okay, you want to repair your sewing machine, it should take at least 3 to 6 months before you have any issue, probably any reason to call a sewing machine engineer. So when you have to like call an engineer every week, every 2 weeks, then there's something wrong you are doing wrong. I hope you get this. So if you get everything I've said so far up till now, please comment and let me know. Because I'll be moving to a major session now, which is about things to know before you get a second-hand sewing machine. Things you need to know. Now, in this particular class, it's not really like I'm talking about you getting a used sewing machine or a second-hand sewing machine. There's something very important I will share in this class, which I even encountered today in one of my repair trips. So I'll be sharing that. So I want to know if you get everything I've said so far, please comment and let me know, please. Okay, Madam Esther Okobo. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Thank you for your feedback. Madam Tinuade, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so I believe everyone followed up to this point. Okay. So now let's move to that part where I spoke about things you need to know before you get a used sewing machine. Now, there are many sewing machines. I get to know, like I said earlier, there are different kinds of sewing machines. I'm not just about the name in this condition now. I'm not talking about name. Now, we already have different kinds of names, and that's how we started this class. So what I'm really talking about now is structure. How the sewing machine looks like. That's something very important that every sewing machine user must know. As a person, as a sewing machine user, and as since we have the intention of still getting more sewing machines, then you must know very important things about the structure of sewing machines. Now, there are machines with different kinds of structure. There are plastic bodied sewing machines, there are metallic sewing machines, there are ceramic actually also. So you need to know about the structures and you need to know the best ones that you need to get. Can we all see hear me, please? Madam
Yes, we can
Tinuade,
miss you.
Madam Itinuade, I'm sorry, ma, I've been mispronouncing your name. Madam Itinuade, alright. So, thank you. So I'll be continuing with
Oh,
that now. I think I have an option here that allows me to be able to share my screen. So I'll be sharing my screen now to show you some structures of sewing machine. Although I have different kind of pictures in my gallery and I didn't set it already before coming to this class. So just permit me, I'll just quickly go through it and give you an idea of what I'm speaking about. And I do that after this audio session. So when it comes to the structure of sewing machine, I want you to take note of something very important. Now, one thing, let's say you want to get a sewing machine today. The person told you that, oh, this is a used sewing machine and it's doing perfect, it's working perfectly. Would you like to buy it? Let's not talk about the price now. I'm talking about the structure. Now, when it comes to the structure, there is one thing I'll just mention, and that is the direction of the needle plate. Please note this. Someone can help me type it to the group the way I just said it. One thing to take note of when you want to get a sewing machine is the direction of your needle plate. The direction of the needle plate matters, or should I say, now these are two the same thing. The direction of the needle plate and the direction of the bobbin area. The bobbin area is that place where your shuttle goes into. That is very important. The direction matters very well, like it is very important. Now, there are some sewing machines where you see the direction, the needle plate or the bobbin area faces you. Now, let me quickly go through that in my gallery. I'll post that for you now. Okay, I'm sharing my screen right now. Please, can everyone see my screen?
Yes,
If you can
Yes,
see my
okay.
screen, please let me know.
we can see.
Okay, Master P. Thank you, sir. So I'll be sharing a picture now, and I want you to look at the direction as I'm explaining now. Now, if you can hear me and you can see my screen, what is the name of this sewing machine, please? I want to be sure that you are paying attention and you can see my screen. If you can see my screen now, what is the name of the sewing machine that is displayed right now?
I can see your screen, but I can't see the name.
The name is not really clear.
see,
Is
or
it
what?
time stress or this steam stress? I can't really
Seamstress.
get
Okay,
it.
Okay,
that's very good.
seamstress.
That means seamstress. Yeah, I'm zooming in now. Seamstress. I'm glad that you can see. Now, look at something. I'm zooming in now. Can you all see what I'm doing in?
Steam stress, yeah.
Yes.
So I just zoomed into the picture, and I want you to look at a particular part. Look at the middle place. Can you all see?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see that this middle plate has the shape of a semicircle, and you will notice that the flat side is facing left. Can you all see that, please? The needle plate is facing left.
Yes.
Very good. Now, you notice that this is the same way industrial straight sewing machines are made. The needle plate will also face this left hand side. Do you agree with me? That's the way industrial
Yes.
sewing machines. Now, there is a reason why this particular structure is very important. It is because it helps in the mechanism of the machine. It helps your sewing machine to sew.
Can you put your phone on mute, please?
So sorry for the breakage. It helps your sewing machine to sew properly. Okay, are we all still following, please? Hello, if you can hear me, please let me know.
Yes, we are here. We are following,
Yes, we
sir.
are enjoying you.
Okay, thank you, ma. So, as I was saying, you notice that this is the same structure that industrial straight sewing machines also have. Now, this structure is very important because when we are talking about durability, this kind of structure offers more durability than a sewing machine that has a needle plate that is facing you directly. I hope you know the kind of sewing machine I'm talking about. I don't have a picture here. That's why I can't go to it now. But there are some sewing machine where you see the needle plate facing you directly. Now, these sewing machines are good for household use. The kind of sewing machines that have the needle plates facing you directly, they are good for household use. But when we are talking about commercial use, it is better to have a sewing machine that is facing the left hand side, where the needle plate is facing the left hand side. Please, did you get what I just said?
Yes.
Because now industrial sewing machines are constructed, or let me say, they are manufactured in such a way that it is meant to last long and it is meant to sew very thick fabrics. That's the idea behind the industrial sewing machine, and that's the idea behind that kind of structure. That's why you will never see an industrial sewing machine where the needle plate is facing you. You cannot see an industrial sewing machine where the needle plate is facing you or facing front directly. You can never see an industrial sewing machine with that shape because industrial sewing machines are built for durability. They are built to be rigid. So this structure is very important to the mechanism of your sewing machine. Many people don't know it. That's why you as a commercial person, you are sewing as a business, and you now get those kind of sewing machines. It's not a bad thing to get it, at least if you are using it for household use or minor usage. But when you get it for heavy duty usage, it won't serve you well. From experience, I'm saying that it won't serve you well. So that's something for you to know. So that's something about the structure of the needle plate. Ensure that the structure is this same structure. And if you notice something about now, this kind of sewing machine is a different brand. It's not the kind we offer around here. But now, if you notice what we call black edge sewing machines, for example, Butterfly, Lion, Sumo Premium, those black edge sewing machines, you notice that they have the same structure also. And if you check the structure of this particular machine now, you notice that they have the same structure also. Now, if you are going to get any domestic sewing machine, ensure that it might not have the same body, it might not have the same color, it might not have the same kind of wheel, but ensure that the direction of the needle plate is the same, and the direction of that place where you put your short to is also the same. I hope that is clear, please. Hello, everyone. Is that clear? Okay, Madam Ugochi. Okay, I'll repeat my last point. Okay, I was talking about the direction of the needle plate, and I said you will notice that the black edge sewing machine, example, Butterfly, Two Lion, Sumo Premium, Bright, pick of different kind of black edge sewing machine. You notice that they have the same structure. Now, when you are getting a sewing machine, whether used or brand new or Tokumbo, ensure that this needle plate structure is the same as this. Now, what do I mean by that? Ensure that the needle plate is facing the left, and also check the place where you put your bobbin case. Ensure that it has the same structure with this kind of sewing, with those kind of normal black edge sewing machine. Let me not say this kind of sewing machine. Check the structure of your black edge sewing machine. Check how you used to put your needle, your short tool into it. Ensure that that sewing machine has that same structure. Now, if you have used an industrial sewing machine before, you have in your office, you will notice that the structure of the black edge is the same structure that is used for industrial sewing machine. Do you agree with me, please? Do you agree with me that the structure of the black head is the same structure that is applied in industrial straight sewing machines? Okay, very good. Because you notice that it's almost as if what they did was just to enlarge the black head to make it industrial sewing machine. Then they now paint it white. And probably they paint it. Most industrial sewing machines are white in color. So it's almost as if they enlarged it and turned it into industrial sewing machine. Because that structure is very important. Because when we talk about Singer, I think Singer has a history of quality. Or let me say, Singer used to have a history of quality. Although the new singers they are having now is not as good as the old ones. But they are talking about the singers that were produced along the year 1950, 1970, 1980 into the early 2000s. You notice something about them. The structure is the same with what we have in industrial sewing. You won't find a different structure. And you notice something about those kind of machines. They are rigid. They are durable. They are durable. That's something very important. So that structure plays a major role in the effectiveness and the durability of your sewing machine. So please kindly take note of that whenever you are getting a sewing machine. So that's about that. Then let me quickly share. The class is almost going to an end. I'm meant to spend an hour in this class and this 7:48, but I'm glad that I've shared two major parts. Now there's one more thing. I said I will share something about one of my experiences today on one of my repair trips. So I was around the first stack area today, and I was working with a sewing machine for one of my customers. And then I didn't even get the picture of the sewing machine before going there. But now upon getting there, as I saw the sewing machine, the first thing I told her was that the challenge you have with this sewing machine is that the part is not available in Nigeria. Now take note of the story I'm sharing, and I might not be able to leave it out anymore. But please keep the point that I'm pointing out in this. As I got there and I saw the machine, I told her, Ma, this sewing machine might not work. Part not available in Nigeria. Now that's something you have to take note of. Before you get a sewing machine, ensure that the parts are available. I'll talk about how you know whether the parts are available. But please just follow my story. Ensure that the parts are available. I told her about that, and I will show you what I saw. If you look at the base of the machine, it is not like the normal blackhead. It is not like the normal sewing machine you have around. Let me move to the picture. Now, can we all see my screen once again? Please, if you can see my screen, let me know. Can you see the picture
Yes,
of the
I
sewing machine
can.
part? Okay. Now, this
Yes.
is how the base of the machine looks like. I didn't take the full picture of the machine per se, but this is the major emphasis of what I want to explain now. This is how the base of the machine looks like. Now, you can notice gears. You can notice that this machine uses gears to roll. This particular part I zoomed into is called a gear. Now, gears are not sold in Nigeria. At least if you find at all, it will be very rare to find it in major sewing machine accessory store. So a sewing machine that uses gear will not work well for you in this kind of environment. Why? Because if the gear gets faulty, you can't get it around easily. You can't get it around easily. The gear for this, there was a particular part that is meant to have a gear. This particular part that looks raw, that is zoomed into. There's meant to be a gear here, but the gear is broken. So without the gear, this upper gear will not roll the lower one. And because of that, the machine will not move fabric at all. So the only solution to this kind of problem is to get the gear. And where can we find it? Not in Nigeria. We have to order it either from the manufacturer or order it from maybe somewhere like AliExpress or all these Chinese stores. But the problem with it is that you don't know which size they fit into it. So it's more like trial and error. They are trying to order for one. And the problem is that before an order gets to you here in India, it will take averagely 30 to 60 days. Imagine waiting for that and eventually having to get a part that is not going to fit your sewing machine. So what am I saying in this particular section is that get a sewing machine that has available spare parts. Get a sewing machine that has available spare parts. And now, briefly, how do you know a sewing machine that has available spare parts? Go back to what I said earlier before I jump to this session. The structure of the machine is what will really determine whether the parts are available. Now, for this kind of sewing machine, the parts are available because it looks anything that has the structure of black egg. Please take note of this statement I'm about to make. Please, someone can help me type it on the group for the sake of those that are not hearing me. Any sewing machine that has the structure of a black egg will definitely have available spare parts in Nigeria. So any sewing machine that has this structure, talking about the plate area and the shorting area, any sewing machine that has that structure, it is very, like I'm 95% sure, I'm assuring you with a 95% guarantee that the parts will be available in Nigeria easily. Please, can someone help me type that on the group? Okay, thank you very much, Madam Comfort Shalewa. Thank you, ma. Any machine that has the structure of a black head, we have available spare parts in Nigeria. So that's very important. That's how you know, okay, this structure. Now, let me give you another structure. I don't have too much of my pictures on this particular phone, on my other phone on my laptop. So I won't be able to show you much example, but let me quickly check. Like I'm sorry, I'm leaking my personal pictures here. I don't want any screenshots, please. Let me quickly check about that. I want to show you an example of that. Okay, yeah. So I have examples here. So I want to give you varieties in this particular session. Now look at this machine now. Can we all see the machine I'm displaying on my screen? If you can see the machine I'm displaying on my screen,
Yes.
let me know, please. Okay. Now this machine is a dress product. And now, can someone tell me, when you look at this machine, looking at the direction of the needle plate, you can see that it has the same structure with the black head. Pay attention to the direction of the needle plate. Do you agree with that? Can you see that clearly?
Yes.
Direction of the needle plate and side. So that's how you know that, oh, let's say someone posted this machine and said, okay, well, I'm selling this sewing machine. It is a used sewing machine. I want you to come and buy it for this amount. Now you want to now know, oh, is this a good investment? One thing you should take note of is the direction of the needle plate. Oh, this direction, okay, it is facing, it has the same structure like a blackhead. Okay, then this sewing machine should be okay. That's one of the proofs that, okay, this sewing machine will be okay. Not the total proof, but based on this session and teaching, it is one of the major proofs. And then another thing you will check is now, check the under. That place where you put the shorting. Ensure that it also has the same structure like the blackhead. I don't have the picture of that, so I won't be able to share that with you here, but I hope you get what I said. So this is an example. Now, let me show you another example. I believe I have another here. Now, I want someone to tell me, let's say someone sold this machine to you. Looking at the direction of the needle plate, is it a good sewing machine? Or can we say, okay, based on this proof, this sewing machine is good. Look at the direction of the needle plate. Okay, if you can see it,
Yes, it
let me
is.
know. This is it. Thank you very much, man. This is a brother sewing machine, and looking at the direction of the needle plate, you notice that it is also facing the left hand side. And you will also notice now, one thing you notice about this machine is that the structure is not, the other structures are not really like the blackhead. If you look at the speech regulator, the upper tension, and every other thing, even the take up level, it's not looking like the normal blackhead, but that's not the cause for alarm at all. The major emphasis is the direction of the needle plate. If the direction of the needle plate is okay, then you are good to go. And in addition, also check the direction, because there are some machines that have this same direction for the needle plate. But when you check the under, when you check where the shot goes into, it is totally different from the kind of structure you have in the normal industrial sewing machine or in the structure of the blackhead. So when you notice that the structure of that bobbin area is different from blackhead or from industrial sewing machine, then you have to be very cautious. Now, I'm not saying you should not buy it. I'm saying that you have to be very cautious. That means you need additional things. You need to be very careful before you get that kind of sewing machine. I hope you get that. Because, for example, if you look at the sewing machine I showed you the other time in camera, that's this particular sewing machine. Now, this is how the under looks like. Please, can you see this picture I'm showing you now?
Yes, we can. Clearly.
Now, I would like to ask a question now. Looking at this structure, is this the same structure like your normal blackhead or like your normal industrial sewing machine?
No,
This
it's not.
No, it's not. Very good. Because this structure is totally strange. It is different. Even looking at the other under part, it is totally different. It is not looking like the normal, but don't focus on the other part because it can be different, even in industrial sewing machine. But this particular bobbin area where the shuttle goes into is where you should pay attention to. When you notice that it does not have the same structure with the one for industrial or the blackhead, then you have to be extra careful. Whether you are getting a used sewing machine, a Tokumbo sewing machine, or even a brand new sewing machine, whether a tabletop, a vintage sewing machine, or anything, take note of this structure. Please, I hope that is clear.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes,
So,
it is.
back to our discussion. So, I've successfully talked about. All right, sorry for the break. So, I've talked about the major things you need to pay attention to. Now, those are the three sessions I listed. Please let me check my notebook again to be sure that there is no part I'm missing out. Okay, all right. I shared about, I was talking about 5 effective. Now, there's one last thing I want to talk about just in 2 minutes, please. 5 highly effective strategies that will help your sewing machine to stay healthy for long. Now, you can write this down in your notepad or probably write it down. Now, this is not something I really shared so much. I didn't even share it in my sewing machine maintenance book because I used to believe that this is something everyone should know. But based on my experience in the past few months, I've noticed that not everyone really knows about it. So I'll be sharing about that here. There are 5 effective strategies that will keep your sewing machine lasting for long. Now I've mentioned that in the second session where I was talking about cleaning and oiling and changing of parts. That's 3. But now there are 2 other things you need to take note of. And I believe they are very simple, but many people just don't pay attention to it. Okay, sorry, I'm getting a feedback on my screen now that will actually make me pause slightly. Please just give me like 2 minutes, please. Hello, can we all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you, ma. Actually, I got a notification about my network because I'm trying to switch to my hotspot because
Yeah, we can't hear you again, no.
All right, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. If you can hear me, please let me know.
Welcome.
Can hear you now.
Oh, all right, thank you, ma. Okay, so I'm talking about the last part, and I said I want to list 5 highly effective strategies to keep your sewing machine lasting for long. Now, what's the essence of this particular session? It is to make your sewing machine last long. Like, it is not my will as an engineer. That's why the fact that yes, I need money and all. But I prefer to make money out of those who choose to neglect maintenance. But what I don't want is ignorance. I don't want a situation in which people don't even know that there's something called sewing machine maintenance, or there's something called proper maintenance of your sewing machine to make it fault free, to make it free from sewing machine fault. So that's why I'm taking time on this part where I'm talking about okay, things to do, things to check in your sewing machine, and things to do, and things not to do. So, like I was saying earlier, there are 5 strategies, but now I already listed 3 the other time. And the first one is cleaning, the second one is oiling, and the third one from the last session is changing the necessary parts. Where I talked about changing the needle plate, and the bobbin case. So now I'll be mentioning the other 2. They are very simple, but please pay attention to them. And the first one is to cover your sewing machine from dust and water. Now you can see it's very simple, but this is one of the major causes of sewing machine fault, especially that of dust. Dust and water. Keep your sewing machine away from dust and water. Please, if you can hear me, you can help me type this on the group. I might not be able to type it after the class, but please let me type it on the group. Okay, thank you, Madam Comfort Shalewa. Thank you, ma. Cover your sewing machine from dust and water. Now, that's very important because I used to share something that, okay, a sewing machine does not just have spots. It's not like a sewing machine will just come up one day and then say, oh, I want to develop spots. I know many of you change that way, like, oh, sewing machines can be very frustrating at times, like, oh, you just see your sewing machine will just come up this morning and will be like, what's wrong with this sewing machine? I did not do anything to it now. Did anybody touch this sewing machine? Then you now start complaining. But now, they are very simple things that affect your sewing machine, and one of them is dust. When dust interferes with your sewing machine, it will cause a lot of problem. I mean a lot. And you know that if I mention keeping your sewing machine away from dust, that means I'm indirectly also talking about cleaning your sewing machine. Because there's no way you can prevent your sewing machine away from dust. But now there are some times that your sewing machine can probably pick up dust from even the fabric you are sewing. It can pick up dust from the fabric you are sewing. So that means cleaning will help you solve that problem. That means it might be good that you can have a brush on your table, so that anytime you want to start work, maybe in the morning, you just use the brush, just dust every necessary place. What are the necessary places? The bobbin area. That's very important. That's the most important area in your sewing machine. That place where you put your shuttle into, whether you are using industrial, whether you are using domestic, even weaving machine. Now, weaving machine does not use bobbin case. I know that. So you pay attention to where the looper goes into. You see those hidden parts where you pass your thread into. You just have to use your brush to dust it. I hope that is clear, please.
Yes.
So that's about that. You keep it away. So how do you, okay, I saw a question on the group. How do you cover your sewing machine? What can you use to cover your sewing machine? My best recommendation is to have a nylon. You can get a nylon, maybe pure water nylon, or I think there's this waste nylon that we often have around here. There's this black nylon. You can just take it, cut it into the shape of your sewing machine, and just use it as a cover. I hope you get what I just said. You can get a nylon, maybe a nylon, something white, a white nylon. Then you just sew it together at the edges and then use it to cover your sewing machine. It's not something complex at all. Or if you want something more simple or you can get easily, you can just get a piece of fabric. Maybe you get You can even use lycra. I think lycra is even stretchy, so you can just have that one. So that one will even keep it very firm. You can use lycra or even any other kind of light fabric, sew it together, and then use it to cover your sewing machine, whether industrial, whether overlocking, whether domestic. Just use it to cover your sewing machine. So that's the first part. And then how do you prevent your sewing machine from water? Well, water is not something that often gets to your sewing machine, except you are someone that eats on your sewing machine table. I believe many people used to do that, especially the most hardworking tailors. So you put your food, your water, your food flask, everything on the table, and then as you are eating, water spilled on it, and then the next thing is just you even use your hand to splash away the water. No, that's not very right. At least water can make some parts of your sewing machine rust. It can make it rust. So you have to take note of that, and that's something very vital. So I believe that is clear enough. If there's a part that is not clear, take note of that as a question. And then secondly, the other part, please give me another break, please. Oh. Few minutes, just give me a few minutes, I'll be back.
Okay, guys. While we wait for Sir Abraham Adesanya to return, I am taking the floor for for him. So hope you're getting tremendous value here, guys, and I hope you're learning. Well, this is not my own fault, so I can't talk about sewing machines. I hope you've been learning. I hope you're getting interested. It's interesting. Please feel free to share your experience so far. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Oh, we've been enjoying the class. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, you're
On my
welcome.
part, I've really learned a lot from the class because,
Okay.
like what he mentioned about observing some things before getting
Mm.
a sewing machine, I've
Yep.
once fall victim of something like that. I bought a
Mm.
machine, a Tokumbo machine, sometimes
Okay.
ago. It's working effectively. Then the direction of the needle plate is facing the left, so it looks industrious. But the
Mm.
bobbin case part, the structure of the bobbin case part is different from the domestic machine or the industrial machine we use in Nigeria. So when a
Mm.
part got broken there, it became a problem. I had to tie it
Mm.
with rope because all the engineers were saying, there is not possible, we cannot get this part, oh, you just be managing it like that. Except you see
Ah.
a machine like it, exactly like it, that is faulty, and the person want to throw it away, or the person can dash me that particular part of the bobbin case structure. So I had to tie it with rope. I was still using it, the machine was effective, but let's say it is something that I cannot manage, that means the machine is a total waste from that moment.
Mm.
So I've really learned a lot from the class. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome, ma'am. You're welcome. I'm glad that we were able to make that impact because, this kind of topics sometimes they are not like a hot cake, so to speak. Yet they are very essential if your business must run smoothly. So thank you so much, Ituno, for sharing. Okay, so please, who else has got something else to share with us? Please don't make the mistake of asking questions because I don't have any answer. I'm not the subject matter expert here. I just want you to relate your experiences. So
Thank you, Coach, for the opportunity this evening. It's
you're
so
welcome,
wonderful.
Priscilla.
I've been reminded of a lot of points, like especially the
Okay,
machine maintenance. In fact,
okay.
I have like two of my machines I've been using for some years now. I can't remember the last
Mm.
time an engineer tamper work on it
Mm.
because I strictly follow the maintenance instruction, especially when you,
Okay,
like, for example, changing of needle. When you
okay.
sew close like sequence, these heavy
Mm.
fabrics, quickly
Mm.
change the needle. Like there
Okay,
was something that happened last week. There was this Tokumbo machine I bought. I just bought it early this year. So as I was
okay.
sewing, I finished sewing a sequence material. I did not quickly change the needle. So I found out that the
Mm.
needle is hitting the needle plate. So I just called
Oof.
the engineer. This machine that you just set up is not working well though. The needle is hitting the plate. He now said, maybe you did not fix the needle very well. I said I fixed it very well. He said, okay, I should bring it to his working place. I said, all
Mm.
right. So the next day, I just quickly remember, I just finished sewing sequence. Did I change the needle? Let me quickly do that. Immediately I changed the needle, the machine started working. I was like, I
Oh,
saved my money.
you would have spent a lot for nothing.
I'm
I'm so
telling
glad you got that.
you,
Wow,
the girl was even
wow.
calling me. I didn't see you the next day. I said, forget about it. The machine
Forget
is
about
working.
CBO. This is not a C problem. It's a changing problem. Oh,
So
interesting.
anytime you work on heavy fabric, changing the needle,
Mm.
cleaning it, make sure what I do, I clean twice in a week, oil it,
Okay,
like the weaving machine, I use the brush to clean it. I don't have any complaint. The machine is just working freely. So the
freely.
class is
All
really
right,
wonderful.
everybody. I'm sorry for the delay. I
Okay,
my phone went off actually, so I had to
okay.
quickly dig out my power bank of my bag.
Oh,
So I'm sorry for the
okay.
break.
No, no problem, sir. I've held the fort for you. The members have
Can you hear
shared
me,
some
sir?
interesting feedback. Yes, we can
We
hear
can
you, sir.
welcome back.
Welcome back, sir. So you can carry on. I was holding the fort for you while you were away. So you can
You're
please carry on, sir.
welcome.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So I was even already rounding up. So what was I talking about? That was about covering your sewing machine. That was the first part, and it remains the last part, which will make it the fifth of the strategies that will keep your sewing machine running smoothly. And what is that about? It is keeping your sewing machine away skilled pressing. Now I'll repeat this again. Keep your sewing machine away from unskilled pressing. That is unskilled personnel. Let me just use it so that it sounds much more attractive. Okay. So what do I mean by unskilled personnel? Something as simple as having your kids around your sewing machine. Yes, as good as it helps to develop their interest in your work and everything. But sometimes it is actually for the worst of it because having them around your sewing machine means they will touch some parts that they are not meant to touch. They will remove some parts that they are not meant to touch. They will do some things that they are not even meant to do on your sewing machine. Even things like stealing food on your sewing machine or even pouring water on it. So please, can you all hear what I said last?
Very
Keep your
clearly.
machine away from unskilled personnel.
All right, thank you, ma. So as I was saying, keep your sewing machine from unskilled personnel. Because not everyone, even apart from having your kids or even little children around your sewing machine, a new apprentice should be taught how to handle a sewing machine, how to maintain a sewing machine. Okay. An apprentice should be taught how to handle a sewing machine before you pass over the sewing machine to him or her. Because that's part of how to keep your sewing machine safe. I had some request, okay, based on how I kind of provide us account. Based on how I provide access on my Facebook account, I've had some people chat me up. Like, okay, sir, please, I need your help. Oh. I was working on my boss sewing machine. Okay, like, I was working on my boss sewing machine, and then this happened. I mistakenly they have not been taught how to undo the sewing machine. It is simply because of that. You as a boss, you as an instructor or a fashion tutor, you should ensure that your apprentices, your students, they understand how to use a sewing machine, they understand how to clean a sewing machine, they understand how to oil a sewing machine. They understand the parts of your sewing machine that they should change and when they should change it. That's part of the things that should be part of your fashion course. It should not just be all about how to cut and sew. It should also be about sewing machine maintenance. That's a crucial aspect of your work because without your sewing machine, you can't work. So that should be taken into consideration. So I believe with that I've listed the major things about how to keep your sewing machine running smoothly for long. Please, can you all still hear me? My network is looking like it's fluctuating here. I want to be sure that all I'm saying is not just going into the basket.
We are
I'm
hearing
clear.
you.
All right, thank you, ma. So that brings us to the end of this session, which happens to be the last session. So I believe I shared three major sessions. The first part was about the brands of sewing machines and which brands. There was a quote I made there. I said, there are some things I will not share in this class because I already shared them in my ebook. That's my ebook that is titled The Best Sewing Machine. And the ebook is free, so you are paying for. What I'll just do is I will share the link with Coach Laoye for tea so that I can share that to the group so that everyone can have access to the ebook. Then aside from that, I also listed that's for the first session. And in the first session, I listed three of the strategies that you have to use in keeping your sewing machine safe. That's where I mentioned cleaning, oiling, and so I mentioned cleaning, oiling, and replacement of parts. Then in the third session, which is the last session, I mentioned that's for the first session. The second session I talked about the things you need to know before getting a used sewing machine. And then I didn't just share about getting a used sewing machine, I shared about getting a sewing machine. And in that particular session, I talked about the structure of the sewing machine. I talked about the fact that the structure is much more important than even the name of the sewing machine. So I shared about that. And then in the last session, I talked about the other two strategies that you will use in keeping your sewing machine running for a long time. So I believe I've shared based on all the outline I have there. Although yes, there are too many other things to share, but I believe everything I've shared within this 1 hour, 20 minutes has been all focused on the basic things that you need. So all that I've shared in the last 1 hour, 20 minutes are the basic things that you need to know as a sewing machine user. It will help you in your usage of your sewing machine and also in your purchase of sewing machine. Now, Coach Larry Conti said something very important in his post, which I didn't even read. And he said, this is how you avoid regrettable purchases. That is, there are people that have bought some sewing machines and then till today they are regretting getting that sewing machine. They are regretting it because the sewing machine is not serving the need. The sewing machine, or probably the sewing machine has developed a particular fault and the engineer told them that it cannot be repaired. So that means you just have to throw the machine away. So that's something, this class, what you have learned in this class is going to prevent you from all of that. So I'll just round it off here. And please I will hand over to Coach Larry for this now before the question session. So, sir, you you have the floor now, sir. Let me know if there's any other thing I need to talk about, or and also about the question session.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you so much for all that you have done for us tonight. I mean, it was supposed to be 1 hour. We're already on 1 hour, 22 minutes. I can't say thank you enough, sir. And the ebook you offer to give to us through me, I am so grateful for that, sir. I am super super grateful. What I'll do is that those that need the ebook, I'll tell them to contact me on WhatsApp so they can get their own copy once I get it from you. Okay, sir. And please, I would like you, when you're doing the question and answer session, sir, to please share your social media handles so the people can follow you on Instagram and on Facebook, sir. And please, any of the other services that you have rendered, which is in line with what we're discussing, feel free to share because I'm your biggest announcer right now. Okay? So, guys, this is an opportunity for you to ask questions and get answers. You can type them or you can unmute your mic to ask. And if your mic is already muted, or you can simply tap on the mic icon and it would pop up an icon on the screen that say that raises your hand for us to know that you want to speak. Then I'll bring you on. Thank you. So
Okay, I have a
I'll
question,
pass over
sir.
the question to you, sir.
I have a question.
Okay, hold on. You would ask your question. Let me just pass the mic back to me, Mr. Adesanya, then you would ask your question directly. Okay, don't leave the dial, please. So, Sir
Thank you.
Abraham, please carry on, sir. So, Rebecca, you can ask your question now, please.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. I really learned a whole lot, and I want to say God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Abraham Adesanya. I really appreciate this class. God bless you. So my question is this. I have this new I joined the class actually late, but I have two questions. My first question is I have this new industrial straight sewing machine email. When I got the machine, my engineer fixed for me and all that, but the machine spills oil, and it spills oil on the neck. That's that part that moves where the belt is. I don't know if you can get that. Hello? Hello?
Hold on. I think he's still in class. Sir Abraham,
Okay.
please, are you still on so that we can take the question? Hello, sir. Are you still on? I guess maybe network is acting up on its end. So you may
Okay.
just hold on until we hear his voice. So,
All
Sir
right, sir.
Abraham,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Hello, sir. Can you please
Hello, sir.
turn on your mic again? Yes, sir. We lost you there for a minute.
Yes, sir. Sorry, okay, sir.
Okay, so
I
Rebecca can
didn't
ask
hear
her
the
question
question,
again.
sir.
Oh, she would ask again, please.
Okay, thank you,
So,
sir.
Rebecca, please carry on and ask your question again.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you
Since,
very much, Mr. Abraham Adesanya, for the class. I really appreciate you. God bless you. So my question is this. I have this industrial sewing machine, a new one, email product. When I fixed it, when my engineer fixed it for me, I discovered that the machine spills oil, and it spills oil from the neck. Let me just say neck. That's where you have the belt connecting to the one underneath, and I don't know where you have that belt that connects the machine, as in the motor to the machine itself. I hope you can get getting my question, sir.
Yes,
Sir?
yes, I can hear you, man.
Okay, so the thing spills oil, and I try communicating with him that this thing is spilling oil, as in it spills oil that even when you are trying to reel, or if you place your hand close to that neck, you will be seeing the oil spilling on your spam like this. So I don't know what to do. When I spoke to him, he said it's normal because it's a new one, that with time it will stop spilling oil and all that. But I don't know. I just want to just ask you, since it's an opportunity of talking to another technician like you. So I'm asking, what actually is the problem? Then my second question is this. You said that that when you want to buy a sewing machine, that it's not about it's not about the name of the sewing machine. It's not about the product. That is actually your maintenance and all that matters. So are you saying, because for someone like me, I'm a brand kind of person. I really believe in a brand. Like, I like buying things that have high quality. Like when the brand is well known and all that. I get scared when I see like this. There's this beautiful and all that type of sewing machine, but I don't want to go for those ones because I don't really know how. I've not really heard so much about, or maybe heard reviews about. So I don't know if that my mindset, if it's a correct one, or maybe probably you can help me correct it, Sha.
Okay, ma. Is that your two questions, ma?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So for the first question concerning your email industrial space, now that's actually a malfunction.
Okay.
That's the first thing, because that's not meant to happen. So that's why they type on industrial space machine. You see something like a leg under it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You said what?
If you check, like, there's a socket, there's an oil pump under your sewing machine.
Oil foam.
Oil pump.
Okay. Oil pump. Okay.
Have you tried turning your industrial machine over?
Yes, I have. I can even do that now, Seth. If you ask me to do that, I can do it now to check it. Let me quickly.
You can try that.
Raise it up.
Now you.
Okay, I have yes, I have the head up now.
See something
Okay.
that has a leg. Can you see something that has a metallic leg?
Leg, Abby. Yes, I can see it.
Metallic net.
Net.
That's this
Okay.
phone.
Yes.
Can you see?
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
Now that's most likely where the problem is from. Probably the oil pump is malfunctioning. Because
Okay.
the function of that stuff is only to make the oil circulate around the machine. But if it is
Okay.
overworking, that means it will now suck in too much oil, which will now lead
Okay.
to spilling. So what is
Okay.
happening to your machine is that the oil is over pumping.
Okay.
Are you getting me, ma'am?
Yes.
But it will still need, probably the engineer will need to come and check it again to be sure whether the oil pump will need to be changed. But that's most likely going to be the solution. The oil pump, that net structure will have to be changed for it to work properly. But I will not be very certain with you. You can call your engineer to check it again, or probably call him over to help you check that oil pump again, and then you can let me know after that. But that's most likely what you
Okay,
have to
because
do, because that's what they look for.
okay, thank you very much. It was here like maybe 2 days ago thereabout, and I was still telling him that this thing is still doing the same thing, but it was like it's normal, and that with time it will stop spilling oil.
You know, that's not normal. Although it might not be it's definitely not from the engineer. That's something I'm
Okay.
talking about. Most likely from the factory. And we have cases
Okay.
like that. I've seen
Yeah.
such cases like that also, factory faults and stuff. So it will most likely be that you need to change the oil pump. But
Okay.
if it says you should hold on, then I will say you should hold on. You can wait for, like, how long have you gotten it?
I think I set the sewing machine around November last year.
November, and it has been doing that consistently since November.
No, when I started using it at first, it was not like that. It was just around that January, there about December. Few weeks after setting it, started doing that thing.
Maybe this is what I'll do. Maybe you can chat me up later. Turn your machine
Okay,
over
sir.
the same way it is right now.
Yes.
Take a picture of it, then send it to me. Probably Facebook will be okay actually. Send it to me via
Facebook.
messenger. Yeah, via
Okay.
messenger.
Okay, so you tell me your
Or
Facebook
even
address,
WhatsApp.
please.
WhatsApp is okay.
Okay, WhatsApp. Let's
Yeah, I
do
already
WhatsApp then.
posted it on the group. WhatsApp is
All right,
okay.
I'll check
My
it out.
WhatsApp number is on the group. So
Okay,
you
I'll
can
check
get
it out.
that. So you can send me a picture of that. Then I'll just check based on that.
Okay.
But most likely the oil pump is what you have to change.
Okay.
Okay. So for your
Okay.
second question, now
Yeah.
that mindset you have is a very good mindset. It is not wrong at all. Now I think I have
Okay.
to make it clear based on what I said.
Mm.
The brand name is important,
Yeah.
but there is something much more important, which is the maintenance, how you handle your sewing machine. I hope you get it now.
Okay. Yes.
So the brand name is very, very important. You maybe that's why I think I'll forward the link also. If you check my book, you will see that link said. I said
Okay.
brands, these particular brands are recommended, particular brands are recommended. Why do I recommend them? Because I've worked with many of them. I've heard reviews about many of them from my customers. I've also spoken to other engineers for their recommendation about those sewing machines. So I compiled all those reports to now talk about recommendation. Okay, this is the reason why I recommend this brand and this brand. It is because I have reviews of people, sewing machine users. I have reviews of engineers. I have my own personal reviews about those sewing machine brands. So there are some brands I don't work with simply because their work, their reputation is not really very okay. Maybe out of 5 sewing machines, you're already getting complaints on 2 sewing machines, then that's already a bad sign. So with my book, you will get some recommendations about that. So it is a good mindset. It is a good mindset to want to know a good sewing machine brand. But the reason why it mentioned maintenance is because I don't want you to focus too much on the brand name that you now
Okay.
forget what you yourself have to do to ensure that you use your sewing machine for long without problem. I hope that is clear.
Okay. Yes, yes, it is.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did very well. Thank you very much.
All right, you are welcome, Mrs. Rebecca.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, Miss Victoria, I can see your hand raised up. So you can go ahead with your question.
Hello, sir. Please, they have some questions on the group also.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
oh,
A
oh, oh,
couple
oh.
of
Oh.
questions. Someone, if you scroll up a bit, sir, you'll see them. Someone asked, where can I get quality machine at good price? And which brand will you recommend, whether new or fairly used? Well, I'll tell them they should come to you, anyways. But please, sir, carry on. There are questions typed already. They can interchange with the
Okay.
ones that people call in. Thank you, sir.
Trying to locate those questions. Okay. Okay, about yeah, I've seen the question. Where can I get a quality sewing machine at good price? What brand do you recommend? Whether new or fairly used? So that's from Miss Grace Divine. Okay, about the quality sewing machine, well, just like Coach Laoye Curtis has recommended, I sell sewing machines, both industrial and domestic, overlocking and straight sewing. So I can assure you of quality sewing machine. And I also offer installation alongside, together with servicing. That's for the domestic sewing machine. So I ensure that it is well serviced. Or even if you are far away, if you are outside Lagos or outside my location here, all I just do is I forward sewing machine maintenance guides to you. I have a sewing machine maintenance guide that I wrote myself. So I'll forward that to you as a customer. So that will help you in also handling your sewing machine. And then about the brand you would want to get, maybe I'll forward my book to the group so that you can have access to it. When you go through it, you will know the brands for different kind of sewing machine you want to get, whether weaving, whether domestic. But if we are talking about industrial sewing machine, my answer remains the same. For industrial straight sewing machines and industrial weaving machines, my major recommendation. Now notice the word major. It does not mean that there are no other ones. My major recommendation is email and Tulaya. They are very good. I recommend those 2 brands. And then after that, you can now start talking about udon, yankipika, and then some other ones. So those are my two recommendations. I believe my book will answer those other questions. I hope that is clear, Madam Grace Divine. Please let me know if I answered your question. Okay, then Madam Jennifer, I can see your question on the group. Why do the balance wheel get still sometimes, and what do we do to make it free? Okay, I made a post about this. That was, I think, 3 days ago, but it was this week. Yeah? I'm sure it is this week. You can check my Facebook wall. Check from Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. I made a post about this particular issue, something you can do to solve it. So check my Facebook wall. You will see an answer there. So give me feedback about that when you see it. I hope that is clear, Madam Jennifer. Then down to the next question. Okay, for the ebook, Madam Bukola is asking about the ebook. It is my ebook on the best sewing machine. That's the title, the best sewing machine. I'll forward the link to Coach Laoye for C so that everyone can have access to that. All right, thank you for your recommendation, good sir. Then, Madam Joy Josiah, I can see your question. You said that you have a very old single sewing machine. It has not been in use for quite a long while. You took it for repair, but it still doesn't sew in zigzag. Even the straight stitches are not good enough. Can this problem be solved? The bobbin case structure is like that of a blanket. Then, based on what I read here, your sewing machine can be fixed. It can be fixed definitely, as long as it has the same structure. The reason why this structure is important is that if there is need to replace any part, you can easily get it around. So if you want to get it repaired, you can just chat me up and we'll talk about that. I will request for the picture and some other questions to know how everything will go. I hope that is clear, ma'am. Okay, down to the next question. Madam Ugochi. Okay, the difference between direct drive and clutch motor industrial machine. Every time I see this question, actually, I get this question makes me laugh a lot of times because many people don't know about direct drive, and also many people have also heard many rumors about it. But I believe I will not talk about the rumors in this class. I hope to do a live video, probably organize another class about direct drive very soon. But the major difference between direct drive and clutch motor industrial machine. Now, please take note of this very well. It is very brief. The difference between direct drive and clutch motor industrial machine is the motor. It is the electric motor. The electric motor is the only difference between the two. Now, take note of the word only. I mean, it is the only difference between the two. There is no other difference between the two than the electric motor. That's what makes it different, because the word direct drive is coming from the type of motor that comes with that machine. And what makes the motor different from the clutch motor? It is that the motor is power saving. That is, it is a power saving motor. By estimation, or from the statistics I read from the manufacturer and some electrical technicians, I got to know that the amount of electricity that the clutch motor consumes, a direct drive will consume it 4 times less. And if clutch motor consumes something like, although I'm not very accurate, but let me just put an illustration. If clutch motor consumes 1,000 units of your prepared meter, the direct drive will consume only 25. Please, I hope you can all hear what I'm saying now.
Yes.
So as I was saying, the direct drive consumes 4 times less than what a clutch motor consumes. So that's the first difference. And then the second thing that makes it advantageous is that with the direct drive, you can adjust your speed. So this is why I often recommend direct drive for beginners. Because I've seen many people have issues with their industrial machine. Like, okay, some people got industrial machine and then for 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, they are not using it. Why? Because the machine is too fast for them. And I know how that can make you feel. Imagine spending thousands of naira on a sewing machine and then having to abandon it because the speed is too much for you. Direct drive helps you to go over that because with the direct drive, you can adjust your speed by just pressing a button. With the direct drive, you can adjust your speed by pressing a button. You can reduce it, you can increase it to whatever level you want it to be. So that's the advantage of direct drive. And then for the other one, that's the last one, the sound of the direct drive is cooler. That is, the direct drive does not make as much noise as a clutch motor. So those are the three major differences. I hope that is clear now. And then for your next question, you said, is it advisable to buy a direct drive machine in Nigeria? Yes, it is. It is advisable. You can get it. But yet, I still leave you in clutch motor and direct drive. Now, let me briefly talk about the rumor. Now, based on the rumor many people have heard, they have now developed fear towards direct drive. And I believe it is also part of my fault because I'm yet to really make an explanatory defense against those rumors. And that's because my career are quite tight these days. So I've not really been able to make any video on that. But I hope I will do that very soon. I will definitely do that very soon. Direct drive is a good sewing machine and you really enjoy it more than the clutch motor industrial sewing machine. I hope that is clear, Madam Ogechi. Okay, so to the next question. Okay, Coach Laoye, for teams. When do I know that my needle plate and bobbin needs to be changed? Okay, for the needle plate, when the hole goes into, when it starts to have marks, when you start seeing marks on it, then you should know that it is time to change your needle plate, sir. Then you will also notice that the hole is already broken, like it is no more a circle, it is now broken. Then it is time to change the needle plate. Then for the bobbin, and that's the okay. And do you mean the bobbin case or the bobbin, sir? Okay, if you are referring to the bobbin should only be changed if you notice that probably it fell down or something is it. But if it is the bobbin case, if you are talking about the bobbin case, the only time you need to change it is when you notice that thread is no more moving freely from it. Like when you notice, when you put in your bobbin thread, your reeler, and then you try to draw the thread, you try to pull the thread, and you notice that it is not pulling correctly, then the bobbin case. I hope I answered your question, sir. Okay, Madam Priscilla, do I have to cover the machine on daily basis after use? Yes, I will recommend you do this after use. It is very important. Some people live on the island there, and I think during that dry season, you notice some things. There were dust blowing around. There was a woman I went to work with a machine around VI, and as I saw the machine, I was like, "Is this a museum?" I recommend you cover your sewing machine. It doesn't cost you anything. Cover it on a daily basis after use. I hope that is clear.
It's very clear. Thank you so much for answering.
Madam Mbukun talked about plastic bobbin and metal bobbin. Which one is better? Yeah, I will actually go for metal bobbin anytime because it is much more durable. That's just the truth. It is durable than the other one. It is durable than the plastic one. But if what you have access to is the plastic bobbin, then it's okay. But the metal bobbin is much more durable. I hope I answered your question, ma. Then Emerald Concepts. Can leaving an industrial sewing machine for a long time without using spoil the machine? No, sir. It won't spoil the machine. The only thing that can spoil the machine is if you don't prevent it from dust and water. That's very important too. Prevent it from dust and water and you are safe. So that means if you are leaving the machine for a long time, just ensure you cover it properly and also prevent it from other users, prevent it from kids, prevent it from unskilled personnel. So I hope that is clear, sir. Then T Marvel, my question is, I used to hear there's two types of industrial sewing machine, copper and non-copper. How true is this, sir? Yes, it is true, sir. Copper and non-copper is actually copper and aluminum coil. Copper and aluminum coil. There is a type of industrial machine motor that uses copper, and there's another one that uses aluminum. But most of these are not really major issues that you should be concerned about, because the truth is that there's no way you can really know whether it is copper or aluminum unless an electrician opens it for you. But on a general note, it is not something to be worried about whether it is copper or aluminum, because it doesn't really change anything in most cases. Now take note of that. In most cases, it doesn't change anything as long as you get your industrial machine and it is from a proper brand, a reputable brand. And like I said, the reputable brand for industrial sewing machine, the two major ones I recommend are Email and Two Lion, and their motor are very okay. And then the other ones I listed in my book also, they are also very good. So okay, I hope I answered your question, ma. Then Madam Alima, I will do me laugh. When I wanted to get my industrial sewing machine, I was advised to go for clutch instead of a direct drive because the parts and the engineers are scarce in Nigeria. How true is this? Okay, back to direct drive again. Okay, first of all, I would like to know, can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, ma. Okay, so to the answer. Now, about the parts that are scarce, now I'll be very plain here, although I will not be very detailed, but let me be very, very plain. The only difference between direct drive and clutch motor is the motor. So every other part is the same. So that means those other parts can be gotten. The only thing that cannot be gotten is the inner panel of the motor. And the truth is that I have not seen a case where the panel gets spoiled. So there's really no issue with that. I hope you get this, man. I'll be detailed in maybe some other time, but because of time, I will not be so detailed. But this is just the summary of what I will say, even if I'm detailed. The parts are accessible. If it is the bobbin case, it is accessible, it is available. It is even the same thing with the clutch motor. Let me even say it like this. The part of a clutch motor industrial machine is the same with the part of a direct drive industrial machine. The only difference is the motor. I hope that is clear, ma. The only difference is the motor. So if you have any other question as regards that, you can still forward it to me later. I'll be ready to answer your question. Then the next question, a blackhead sewing machine leg. When I bought newly, there are some boris at the leg wheel. After some time, it will then remove, and this caused the leg wheel to be loosened. Okay, the cause of this is because that area is too loose, and that's why I often recommend that you don't use oil. Don't pour oil on that area. You can only use grease, engine grease once, and don't use it anymore. Just use engine grease on it once, and then don't use it anymore. Because once that place is too free, if it is too free, the boris will start falling off. And then the kind of pedal rod that is used on your machine also matters a lot. There is the brown one and there is the silver one. Most of the time, we often use the silver and the brown one, but the silver one is the best. The only downside is that it is much more expensive. I hope I answered your question, ma. So don't oil that particular area, ma. Don't oil the boris. When you change it to anyone, don't oil it at all. Just leave it the way it is, and you enjoy it longer. Okay, then Madam Fumi Ataye Raw. You said cleaning and oiling is the basic maintenance method, but the broader computerized machine manual say we should not oil the reeler area. How do you maintain it then? Okay, now this is about a specific kind of machine, broader computerized. I've not even mentioned about the computerized kind of domestic sewing machine since. Now, if the manual says you should not oil the reeler area, that's because the machine has electrical components inside it. So the oiling will affect it. So I believe you should just follow the manual based on that. If you need further advice on that, so it will be much more specific to your machine. Are you getting it, ma'am? So if the manual says you should not oil it, then it is because of the electrical component of the machine. So you should take note of that, ma'am. Then next question. Okay. Okay, Madam Ime. Which machine is best for ready to wear? Is it Sega or industrial? Well, I really don't get your question because when you say Saja, you are talking about weaving machine, overlocking machine, what we call overlocking machine, and it can either be industrial or domestic. So I would like you to make your question clearer, ma. Industrial sewing machine, okay, or if I'm trying to interpret your question, is what you mean, is it like, are you going to use a domestic weaving machine or an industrial sewing machine? If that is what you mean, then this is my response. It depends on your budget. Now, the industrial sewing machine is faster, it will help you cover more jobs in little time. But if your budget is low, you can still go for the domestic weaving machine. It doesn't change anything, although the stitches might be slightly different, but you can still manage it. Okay, oh, yeah, I just saw the edit of your question. Okay, is it Saja 4-thread or industrial email? Once again, your question is still not clear because industrial email has 3-thread, it has 4-thread, it has 5-thread. So it's more like a tautology. So please, I would like you to make your questions clearer, ma. Okay. Um, okay, Madam Itunuade, you use oil on the bodies like kilo day, grease instead of oil. Okay, don't use it like kilo day again, ma. Use it slightly, just use it once and leave it. Don't bother about it. That place does not need excessive oiling at all. Just use it once and leave it like that. So, and then what else? Okay, Madam Bumiade Soyemi, I have an old singer and the needle plate is forward facing. Okay, the problem I have is that it makes noise and I don't know if this can be solved. Now, based on the fact that the needle plate is forward facing, the challenge we might have is that if there is need to replace any part, that can be a challenge, but don't bother about it yet. You can contact me and then I will let you know if I can do that for you, ma. So you can send me a picture of it in DM and please explain properly, please, so that it will be easy for me to answer. All right, ma. Then Madam Abiodun, then computerized domestic sewing machine. Computerized are just the ones that don't work manually. Those ones that have display screens in front of them. Most of them are tabletops. And the truth is that if you follow the steps I talked about when you talk about the direction and the structure of the machine, you will not want to get most of the tabletops that you see in the market. But you can get it for household use, for minor use. But if you are talking about commercial use, it is better you go for black edge structures. I hope that is clear, Madam Abiodun. Okay, Madam Priscilla, okay. Thank God you got a warning from your engineer. Then, okay, what about a Tokumbo machine with needle facing, like weaving machine needle? I don't really get your question. What about a Tokumbo machine with needle facing, like weaving machine needle? Is it good to go? Okay, if
I
what you mean is that the needle is facing front, well,
Yes, the needle is
it
facing
depends.
front.
Just take note of the structure I mentioned. The needle plate should face left and the bobbin area should also look all right. I hope that is clear, ma'am. So to the
The
next
needle
question,
plate
Madam
is facing
Sassi, I have
left.
a computerized domestic machine. It has started making some funny noise, but it is hard to get someone who knows how to fix it them well. Where is your location, please? I'm in Lagos. Or when it comes to location, my location is is a complex thing, but generally, on a general note, I'm in Lagos. I used to be in Ibadan sometimes also, although I don't like Ibadan people. They have offended me in the past and they are still offending me. So, and sometimes I used to be in Oshogo. So, but on a general note, I'm in Lagos. So, you can contact me for that, man. Okay, then, Madam Ugochi, I have an industrial weaving machine. Am I supposed to be changing the oil or just stopping the oil? If it is an industrial weaving machine, you don't need to change the oil. You don't need to. The reason for changing oil is because if there is dirt inside it, if it is dirty. But because industrial weaving machine, you already have a cover at the top. So it is not easy for dirt to enter into it. So most of the time, you only have to top it up. But if you notice that you have used your industrial weaving machine for 6 months, or no, not even 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, you might just try to like drain the oil just to check if it is dirty or not. You can drain the oil and then fill it again. But on a general note, you only have to top up the oil. But if it is industrial straight sewing machine, don't just top it up. Check it first. If it is dirty, you drain it first and then add another oil. But if it is not dirty, you also top it up. So I hope that is clear, ma. Yeah, then okay, Madam Priscilla. Madam Priscilla. Okay, Ibadan people, no problem. Okay, about machine needle size, which one is good for blackhead machines, or is it about the type of machines? Okay. I would have liked to just direct you to one of my posts, but okay, let me just briefly talk about that. For blackhead, there are two types you can use. You can use the DP needle. DP needle. You can use the DP needle for the blackhead. It can be DP14, DP16, DP18. And then if you are working with stretchy fabric, maybe lycra, chiffon, poly materials, then you use HA needles. It can be HA14, HA16, or HA18, depending on the thickness of the fabric. I hope that is clear, man. And then for industrial machines, what you use for industrial machine is DB needles. DB, B for ball. DB needles for industrial machines, and then DP needles for domestic machines. Okay, Madam Victoria, please, you can ask your question. Madam Victoria Olakinton, you can ask your question. Oh. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, Madam Victoria, I'm waiting for you. You are raising up your hand. Please ask your question. Okay, while we wait for her, let me just address the other questions. Okay, this is from Noble T. Okay, from Madam Priscilla. How do we know when to top the direct drive machine oil? It is the same with the clutch motor, not different at all. When the level is low, now if you check the oil tank, you will see a particular markings. There's a calibration on it. There's a place where they wrote high, and there's a place where they wrote low. Now, when you see that the oil is already getting to the low level, then you should top it up. Are you getting it? But once it gets to the high level, don't exceed that level to avoid spillage. I hope that is clear, ma. So whether it is direct drive or clutch motor, the method is the same. Then for Noble T question, how will I know when it's right to top up the industrial weaving machine? There is a gauge in front of the industrial weaving machine. There's a gauge in front of it, and you see one. Okay, I don't know how to describe it, but you can chat me up about it later, ma. Or probably I will make a post about it one of these days. But there's a gauge in front of it that will make you know whether it is on low level or high level. Okay, I've answered that. And then okay, Madam Priscilla, I opened it first thing this year. The oil is clean, but don't know whether to top it up. Okay, just that level will let you know whether you need to top it up or not. If it is on the low level, then you should change it. You should top it up. But if it is not yet at the low level, then you can still leave it.
Is it when I raise the
Okay,
machine
what's the
head?
next question? Okay, DB is for industrial sewing machines, industrial straight sewing machine. Please take note of that. DB is for industrial straight sewing machine, and HA is for domestic sewing machine, and it is specifically for when you are sewing lycra and chiffon fabric. I hope that is clear, ma. Please, what is the name of that sewing machine that sew and at the same time do overlocking? Okay, Madam Ibukun. It can either be 5-thread industrial sewing machine or taping machine. So it depends on the type of stitches you are talking about. But if it is the one that sew and weave at the same time, most likely what you are referring to is the 5-thread 5-thread industrial sewing machine. It sews on one side and weaves on the next side. So I hope that is clear, ma. Okay, for an industrial sewing machine, if you want to sew lycra material, the DB needle should work for your industrial sewing machine normally. If it doesn't, then you will need a checkup. Your industrial machine will need a checkup. Although there's a particular foot we use for lycra fabric, but it is not really available in Nigeria at the moment. But I believe that will be available very soon. So, but aside from that, if DB needle does not work for lycra on your industrial sewing machine, then your industrial sewing machine need to be checked. Then, Madam Itunoade, what's the difference between the direct drive and motor clutch machine? I already explained it, but maybe this is what I will do. I will post a link to one of my posts to the group now so that everyone can have access to it. I will search for it now so that you can all have access to it. Please give me some minutes. I'm going to post it now. Yeah, okay. So that's the post. I already posted it on the group. So you can go through that post. That will help you on that, ma'am. Then what's the next question? Okay, my industrial weaving machine is 5-thread, but the one that sews normally cut thread. Please, what's the cause? That's a tension problem. You can get my ebook concerning how to address what when there's breakage of thread, or probably check my wall. You see some post about that, ma'am. And then okay. Which other question? Which other question? Which other question? Okay, all right. I believe I've answered every other question. Laoye Curtis.
Hello, sir. Thank you. So this is Alakon Live. I mean, for the past 2 hours or so, it's been
Hello, sir.
awesome. Hello, sir. Okay, can you hear me now, please? I said for the past 2 hours, it's been an awesome ride. Thank you so much, sir. So, can you mute your mic, please? Since you are in transit, I can relate. Everybody, please, let's give a round of applause to Mr. Adesanya. He has done a human job beyond anybody's imagination. I am so happy that, I'm in your corner. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I mean, you embodied the values that I have as a person or that I hold dear, which is going out of our ways to give value. Not because we are trying to get someone to buy from us, but we just want other people's lives to be better. Knowing full well that when we do that, the universe will conspire to bless us. So, Mr. Adesanya, all I can say is that God's blessings be on you and your entire household. Guys, he's still on the road and he's still um trying to make this session a wonderful, interactive, educating, solution leading session. Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, please, I can see that there's a lot of chats that have already covered up the conversation coming from your hand. Kindly recopy and paste on the group your link so that everybody in the session here can, visit your Facebook page so I have to follow you. I will personally be sharing your details on my Facebook page also and on my WhatsApp groups to get more people to, learn from you. So thank you so much, sir. And you already allow your Curtis partner as a result of this gesture of yours, which means that you have unfiltered, unlimited access to advertise any training you have, any product you have, any service you have on my platform, sir. A lot of people contact me privately and they say they want to run adverts on this platform, but I tell them I don't run adverts, at least for now. I don't. Instead, I make this platform open to those that have willingly come to be a blessing to my community members. So, sir, the floor is yours. And I'm your biggest announcer going forward. So thank you so much for making our time to teach us for an hour and to answer questions for another hour. God bless you. I'm going to be making this video available, for people on YouTube and elsewhere. So guys, watch out. In case you are watching on YouTube already, that's it. I promise to upload and then you have it. So thank you everybody, and that will be a wrap for tonight. Thank you so much, Mr. Adesanya. You have a wonderful night, sir.
Thank you.